case, a simple case, or just too much? There's not too much to do, or is there more to it? Well, what do you think?
Yeah, well, without doubt, and you have to credit the opposition as well. To be fair, and we, it certainly wasn't the plan, as you can imagine. But I'm pleased we showed some character post that. But we gave ourselves a mountain to do. We lost the penalty count, we lost the territory count, we lost the collision, we lost the breakdown. And if you do that, conceding 12 penalties and a half, it's going to be a very tough comeback. We showed some character. I thought the bench came on and made a massive impact in order to wrestle the momentum of the game back towards itself. But as you say, you're always going to be a bit push and pull there because you've got to risk more, and you're now in catch-up mode rather than controlling the environment and controlling the pressure line and all that sort of stuff. So, yeah, very disappointing end to what has been a very difficult situation right the way across the whole piece. And the last 2 weeks have probably left, certainly from my point of view, left a massive sour taste in our mouth for where we can. But it's done now. We have to look forward.
Are you glad this is all over this season? I've never known one like it. What's it be like for you?
Well, I saw a tweet earlier which basically catalogued the events of the year.
It's been a long tweet.
And they didn't even have Dean Ryan in it as well. So so there's probably more to come, to be fair. But if we can get all the pain in one go and know where we all are, then we've all got a better chance, I think.
What's your take, Derry, today, the game?
I mean, it's credit to Cardiff and for what they did in the first half. Anytime you're chasing a game like that, like Toby said, it was 24/7 at half time. You got a mountain to climb there, and what happens is you end up going out of system, out of things that you practice in training because you're trying to chase a game. That leads to turnovers, and we know what Cardiff are like as a team off turnover. And yeah, it's just tough to mount a comeback there. But we stuck together as a group and showed some character at the end to get a couple of tries back, and that's all we can ask for really, is that hard work, determination when we're on the pitch, and just putting it all in.
I asked Turnbull now, we gave Cardiff's season out of 10. He said 6. You give the OSPREYS season?
I'm asking you.
I agree.
It's tough to put a number on it. It's been quite up and down. That's our life is. That's how rugby is. There's probably points where it's been 1 or 2. There's probably points where it's been a 9. You look at our Champions Cup run. That's in the high 8s, 9s, 10s.
Yeah.
The last 2 weeks you're probably talking 2 or 3. So it's tough to put a number on a full season.
That's not rugby for you.
Yeah, I just think
Doesn't make it right.
No.
6.
yeah.
Okay, I know you were going to ask me anyway.
Middle ground, but there's highs and lows.
Maybe 5.5.
Yeah, he went down to 5.5 in the end.
Yeah.
You knew the answer. You didn't need to ask me.
Dewi, how are you sort of in terms of physically and fitness-wise, and hopefully you've got some bigger things to look forward to?
Yeah, well, that's not my decision to make. All I can do is try and prove what I can do on the field. I've tried to do that in the time that I've had from coming back from injury, but in terms of being fit and ready to go, I'm all good. So obviously it's not my decision to make. I've done my bit, I've done my job, and that's all I can do. But yeah, we'll see what happens.
So you had 3 very positive retention signings last week. How much more have you got to announce? How much more work have you got to do in terms of your squad building? A lot, or?
Yeah, no, not a huge amount. We've got some stuff to do to tidy up and finalise. And when budgets are so tight, and when as you've spoken to the other regions, you understand that when you get towards the end, there's a massive domino effect. So if one agrees, one doesn't, and then that opens other doors. But it's really a very complex thing to commit to. The exciting part of this is on the young talent front. We're pretty happy with that, and which is good. And we've got a high number of those to come, and we've had a lot of praise for, as our boys are in there, from our social media, the way that they've gone about it. And I'm not going to obviously burst their bubble because they are obviously want to be filmmakers, and they're selling their trade on social media. But they've done a brilliant job doing that, and you know, after the last 2 weeks, we want to give our fans. I'm sure that some people, I mean, I've had, you know, some pretty vitriolic abuse on Twitter already, unfortunately. But
What for today's performance?
yeah, but that's part and parcel of the job that we're in, and it's just unfortunate that happens. And I understand that people are passionate, so the signings and the good stuff, you know, we want to make sure that people have got some optimism and some enjoyment, you know, in the close season to bridge us forward into the new one, because it's ancient history now. We're not pleased with it. You saw, well, you know, we're down at 5, not 5.5. The longer I stay here, the lower it will get. But you know, all we can do is move forward and put our best foot forward. That's what we intend to do. We've got a lot of young, exciting players to help move us forward, and we've got to get enough experience around that and try and navigate around low squad numbers, but you know, a high contribution to the Welsh team. That's the dynamic that we're working in. But we've got what we've got. We'll make the best of it, and we'll look forward to it, and we'll put our best foot forward. I can tell you that.
Are you sometimes tempted to switch all your social media off?
Then they've won, haven't they?
Toby, is that the last time we're going to see Alan win in an OSPREYS jersey?
You'll have to ask him that.
Do you want to keep it?
I think, as I said previously, I think Al's a guy who has always dictated that. He's actually still in contract until post-World Cup.
So is that with you or with the union?
With us.
Right.
So from that point of view, that he was obviously on a different sort of contract model, and obviously then lots of things changed, and that sort of all came over to us. Wherever these, you know, it's bizarre, but it's the only contract we've got that finishes there.
Yeah.
So, look, if it is, then it will be a situation where, you know, one club people are very rare, right? And the amount of pride and passion he's put into that shirt over the years, along with the Welsh jersey. So if you add those all together, especially the international numbers, it's going to be very difficult in the modern game to reach those numbers. And you know, yes, it wasn't if it is the end, it wasn't the ending that his career deserves, but it is the end of our season, so we have to take that on the chin. And you know, Al will be a person that will never say never, and that's what's driven him to the levels that he has. So I know that he's very focused on going to the World Cup, and that will be his focus for sure.
So have you saved any money back in your budget just in case he says, I'll go again?
It's in the budget.
It's in the budget, right.
Toby, will it be external recruitment as well, or are you just concentrating on retaining what you've got for next season?
I've spoken to all the other head coaches, or you know, people in these who are the decision makers in that. Everyone's struggling to retain what they've got, so you've got to choose really carefully. The challenge for us is you want some freshness and some energy and bits and pieces, so you're talking minimal numbers. I think everyone would like a little bit more of that, but ultimately we're scrapping over what we've got.
Are you relatively confident you can do well next season? I know a lot of things are out of your hands, like injuries and whatnot, but with the squad you're putting together, do you think you can compete like you did next season, like you did this season in Europe next season?
The rest weeks and fallow weeks and who gets released basically lends itself to the, you know, the regions are set up. I spoke to Mike Blair about this at Edinburgh last week. Are set up to be cup sides, really, because you get some momentum, and then ultimately it's all taken. You have to restart again, and then you get someone back for a bit. And you know, it's not a unique problem to us. This is not me, you know, whinging it. It is what it is. But if you've got a very deep, long, sort of Leinster type squad, you know, you're not as hurt by that because you've got the same players to improve parts of your game. We're on almost relearn, try and get better, whereas they can target a part of their game in a international block. Go, right, we're going to really work on that and become better at that. So that's the nuts and bolts of it. And you know, every model, every situation has its flaw. As I said, no qualms about that, but the reality was, and the biggest challenge is, I think, for us and for the Welsh Rangers, is what success looks like. I think that's going to be the challenge. But we can't live outside our means. Everyone knows that, and like all the other regions, we'll make the best fist of it.
Success might be living within your means.
It might be. Yeah, but look,
But the
I'm not
problem
going
is, in a professional game,
to... Sure.
the fans deserve better than anything.
Well, again, people follow success, right? And that makes it more palatable. I mean, it was great to see the numbers in there. You know, there's probably mechanisms where we can maximise that. But I want to create an environment which does that people get entertained from what they see on the pitch, which is rather ironic considering our first half performance, and creates an environment for people like this to fulfil their potential. Because if I can do that and keep them enthused and fit and enjoying and they fulfil their potential, the Ospreys by default will be doing well.
Jerry, can I just ask you, you've had a long time off, you've missed a Six Nations campaign, I mean, but now you must be raring to go. There must be so much more rugby in your legs at a crucial time.
Yeah, of course, it's always quite tough to get injured around campaigns like that. They haven't been named in squads as well, and then injuries sort of cutting you short. But I think motivation really never changes. You know, when that happened, it was like, right, what can I do for the Ospreys? I'm staying here now, not going away. So how can I bring that motivation here? You know, and getting more game time in the black jersey. So you know, nothing really changes. And to be honest, I'm always raring to go, whether it's with Wales or here, or if we're down the local park playing. You know, that's just how it is. But yeah, I guess you're right in saying that. Yeah.
Well, last year you were beating South Africa in South Africa. This year you could be going to a World Cup. I mean, it's not so bad, is it?
No, but again, that's not my decision to make. So you know, my focus is now on pre-season here with the Ospreys until a day where that call is made, and you know, then I'll look at it differently. But you know, anything can happen. So
By the 1st, isn't it?
Yeah.
You'll know by then.
Yeah, very quick.
Dewi, cwbl o gwestiynau yn Gymraeg.
yeah, of course, yeah.
Fel ti'n asesu'r gêm heddiw te?
Wel, fel ni wedi dweud, hanner cyntaf, falle yn gwael I ni, mynd mewn ar hammer answer fel 24-7. Mae'n anodd I gymryd ac I dod nôl o wedyn. Chi'n dechrau mynd I ffwrdd o y pethau chi'n dysgu a chi'n gwybod sut I wneud, a mae pobl yn dechrau creu stuff lan, a mae'r gêm yn dechrau ready ffwrdd o chi wedyn. Ond ni wedi ceisio stico mewn y gêm, a dau neu tarcais yn yr ail hanner yn dangos y cymerniad ni gyda yn y sgwad yma, a hynny yw beth ni'n gallu cymryd o'r gêm yma.
Dwi'n meddwl falle bod y tymor wedi bod cwpl o wythnosau yn rhy hir i'n Wales?
Falle, neu dwi'n credu just game gwael oedd e. Dim sort of excuses ni'n gallu neud am y perfformiad ni wedi rhoi ar cae heddi. You know, it is what it is, ond mae'r game yma llawn ups and downs. Chi ar ben y byd un wythnos, ar gwaelod y byd yr wythnos nesaf. A wrth gwrs, ni beth eisiau fod ar gwaelod, ond dyna sut ni di dod allan heddi.
Fel ti'n esbonio'r gwahaniaeth rhwng falle Ewrop a falle y gemau yn y Gyngrair?
Mae'n anodd really. Ddim yn credu bod motivation yn unrhyw different. Ni eisiau ennill pob gêm. Falle yn Ewrop ni di dod lan yn erbyn tîmau sydd falle fel ni. Y tîmau fel Montpellier a Leicester sydd eisiau battle na'r up front yn y pac, a ni'n gallu delio dyna, ond tîmau fel Edinburgh a Cardiff eisiau taflu'r pêl o gwmpas. Maen nhw'n mynd trwy contact, offloads. Ni ddim wedi chwarae llawer o gemau fel yna am cwpl o wythnosau, felly falle hynna ni di catcho ni mas, ond ie.
Ond dwi'n hapus bod y tymor wedi dod I ben, fel mae wedi bod, pa fath o dymor mae wedi bod I chwaraewr rygbi yn Gymru eleni?
Ie, mae wedi bod yn tymor anodd. Popeth bant o'r cae, llawer o outside factors, ond mae hynna'n yr un peth am pawb. Am pob tîm, pob person sy'n chwarae rygbi yng Nghymru, mae'n wedi bod yr un peth. So, ni methu dweud fel tîm, fel gwylch, fod ni wedi cael unrhyw beth yn different i unrhyw un arall. So, ond ie, mae'n nice i dod i ben ar tymor yma, a hopefully tymor nesaf bach yn well i rygbi Cymraeg.
A beth yw'r cynlluniau ti dros yr haf trad lan, neu wyt ti'n edrych ymlaen i tymor newydd y barod?
Na, edrych ymlaen i tymor newydd, fi wedi colli bach o rygbi tymor yma, so edrych ymlaen i tymor newydd.
Diolch yn fawr.
Diolch.